When it became clear to President Cyril Ramaphosa that there was a dispute around the throne, he then appointed the Minister of COGTA to put together at least some kind of investigation. The minister appointed a mediation panel, which was led by the former KZN Premier, Willies Mchunu, who joins us now for more reflection on that. Mchunu, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. Just as a way of context, by the time you were coming in, it was clear that there is a dispute and you needed to investigate whether the appointment or even the identification of the king was done through the Amazulu kingship customary laws and customs. However, at the time, there were 3 court cases already challenging that particular process, at least 2 before you came in and another one coming in as soon as you started that process. Why was it important for you to recommend to the president to wait until those court cases are concluded?
Well, good evening, Thabo, and your listeners and viewers. Thabo, I think first and foremost we must indicate that we were appointed. There is 3 of us, myself, Magistrate Maphumulo, as well as Inkosi Tsaunisi. We were appointed as a mediation team with clear terms of reference. Therefore, we were not an investigating team. I think we must make that distinction. And our terms of reference were mainly about trying to pull the sides, whichever sides, together to find agreement. And of course, as part of mediation, we were to make any recommendations, whether we succeed or we do not succeed in getting the parties to agree. That was that's the context within which we were appointed. As far as I remember, we were not appointed when there was already a court case. There was no court case when we were appointed, and when we started the process, there wasn't a court case. There were disagreements, and that's why we had to pull those parties together. But our mediation process, like all mediation processes, was dependent on the conflicting parties agreeing to meet and to discuss their disagreements, which did not happen. In the process, therefore, we made our own observations as the panel, and we indicated to the minister. We were appointed by the Minister of COGTA,
yes,
but of course with the concurrence of the Premier and the President. We made it clear to the minister that our views were that there must be an investigative process because there are disagreements. And we outlined what sort of disagreements were there.
Yes.
And our report does have all the details of which party was saying what.
Yes. Because the High Court said part of what you recommended, Mchunu, was that the president should wait for the court cases to be concluded. So are you saying the court cases ensued during the process of your mediation?
Yes. Court cases started when we were already engaging with the parties. That's my recollection.
Yeah.
But that is neither here nor there. The main thing is, ultimately when we were making recommendations, and this was after about, I think, 3 months, ultimately we then said, our view is that because there are court cases that were now ongoing, it may be better for the president to not take steps before the court cases were finished. But in that case, we also made a point that but the court processes are always prone to appeals. And once there's an appeal, at times those appeals go right up to the Constitutional Court. Therefore, it was an area that we were bringing to the attention of the president, but the president, I must make it clear, was not obliged to do what we were saying. He could have taken it into account, but there was nothing. We had no authority over the president.
You advised also on a medium to long-term mediation process.
Yes.
Give us a context of what you would have discovered that would have led you to that.
The disagreements were running very, very deep. There were even hostilities that we were seeing. But we also agreed that it's not in the interest of the kingdom, of the Zulu kingdom, that there must be continued disagreements. And we made it very clear as well that whenever there are these things, they are likely to spill into violence whenever there are disagreements. And in that case, therefore, our recommendation was that the president must consider other remedial methods, but that was being made just as an advice, and as I say, it was not an obligation.
Do you think that advice or those recommendations can still be pursued now?
Well, the mediation Thabo, happens anytime when parties are in conflict. Even if you go to court, mediation can still proceed. It's just that parties must be willing to go to mediation and to honestly and openly talk about their issues. They have to be persuaded. And mediation is if you have a short space of time like we had, mediation would not be effective.
Right.
Even if they were going to go to the Constitutional Court, mediation may still be necessary, but we would have to advise the royal household that it's in their interest to talk about their issues, because nobody else is going to solve that problem better than the royal household, the royal family itself, talking about it, talking to themselves, and agreeing where they agree, disagreeing where they disagree, and it does not nullify any court processes that may be needed at any stage.
Go on, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That's Willies Mchunu was chairing that mediation panel that was looking at that process.